Welcome to the AI Checkpoints. Before we dive in, just a quick heads up. The content you're about to hear is actually generated by AI. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something I think is incredibly practical and, honestly, pretty fascinating. How to get exactly what you want from text-to-image AI models. Specifically, we're unpacking a really helpful guide from Google AI Studio on X. It shares 6 text-to-image prompting tips for Nano Banana.
That's right. And Nano Banana, well, it's also known as Gemini 2.5 Flash Image. It's Google's latest model, really fast, super efficient. The name's a bit fun, Nano Banana, but it kind of points to that speed and compact power. It's got this native multimodal architecture.
Native multimodal. What does that mean in practice?
It basically means it processes text and images together in one single step. Integrated. And this isn't just about making it faster, though it is fast. It unlocks some really powerful stuff. Things like conversational editing, multi-image composition. It feels more intuitive.
Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah, our mission today really is to give you a shortcut. Help you create much better AI visuals. Doesn't matter if you're, a pro already or just getting started.
And there's this one core idea that seems to tie all these tips together, right? It's simple, but actually pretty profound.
Yeah.
Describe the scene. Don't just list keywords.
Exactly. That's the key takeaway.
We're going to explore why using narrative descriptive paragraphs works so much better. It taps into the model's language understanding on a deeper level. It's less about finding some magic keyword.
Yeah, much less.
And more about, painting a picture with your words for the AI. So let's get started. Let's unlock some creative potential here.
Okay, so let's talk a bit more about Nano Banana first. This Gemini 2.5 Flash image, like I said, designed for speed, efficiency. But that native multimodal architecture, that's the really interesting part.
Right, the text and image processing together.
Yeah. Instead of handling them separately and then trying to, stitch the results together, it understands both right from the start. It's unified. And that's what makes things like conversational editing possible.
Conversational editing? You mean you can talk back and forth with it to tweak the image?
Precisely. Refine it over several turns. Or take multiple images and use them to make a totally new scene, or maybe transfer a style from one to another. Multi-image composition.
Wow, okay. So it's definitely moved beyond just, typing a few words and getting a picture. The guide on X from Google AI Studio, it highlights quite a few capabilities then.
He does.
Obviously, the standard text-to-image, we know that one. But you mentioned editing. So you can give it an image you already have.
Yep. Feed it an existing image, then use text prompts. Add stuff, remove things, change elements, tweak the style, adjust colors.
That sounds huge for iterative design, like getting it just right.
It really is. And then there's that multi-image to image thing, too. Imagine grabbing, say, 3 different pictures and composing something entirely new from them.
Or pulling the style from one onto another.
Exactly. That integrated understanding makes it possible. It allows for really nuanced control. It's like having a proper conversation with a visual assistant to get the image perfect.
Okay, and you mentioned something earlier, text rendering. That's always been tricky, right? Getting text inside the image to look right. I've seen some truly weird results from other models.
Oh, yeah. The bane of AI artists.
So the claim is Gemini, or Nano Banana, is actually good at this, like for logos, posters.
It is surprisingly good, yes. And it's worth digging into why for a second. Older models often just saw text as, a visual pattern, a texture.
Wow, so they didn't understand the letters themselves.
Right, that's why you got garbled nonsense. They lacked semantic understanding. But Gemini's architecture seems to process the meaning of the text alongside the visual requests.
So it gets what the word is and how it should look.
Pretty much. It integrates legible, contextually appropriate words. So the trick is still being really clear in your prompt about the text, the font style, the overall look.
But the potential is there for it to actually work reliably.
Yes, when you're precise, it's remarkably reliable. Much better than what we've seen before.
That makes sense. And it leads right back to that core principle again, doesn't it? Describe the scene. Don't just list keywords.
Exactly.
It's treating the AI less like a dumb search engine and more like a creative partner who's very literal, but understands language deeply.
You nailed it. It's moving beyond just stuffing keywords in. You leverage its understanding of narrative, of context, give it a vivid description, a story, and it has so much more to work with. Leads to better, more coherent images.
Okay, let's get concrete then. Let's unpack that first tip from the Google AI Studio Guide on X. So, say you want a super realistic image. Photorealistic, not just, a picture of a dog, but
like a professional photograph.
yeah, something that looks like it came out of a magazine. The tip says Think like a photographer.
Exactly. And what does a photographer think about? Camera angles, types of lenses, the lighting, is it soft, harsh, golden hour, fine textures?
Right, all those technical details.
And these details work because the AI learned from countless real photos, including professional ones. So using that terminology, you're basically speaking its language. You're guiding it towards photorealism.
The template they give is super helpful for structuring that thought. A photorealistic shot, type of subject, action, or expression set in environment. The scene is illuminated by lighting description, creating a mood atmosphere. Captured with a camera lens details, emphasizing key textures and details. The image should be in an aspect ratio format.
It covers all the bases.
And the example they use really paints a picture.
It does. Let's break it down. A photorealistic close-up portrait of an elderly Japanese ceramicist, okay, specific subject, with deep sun-etched wrinkles and a warm, knowing smile, adds character. He is carefully inspecting a freshly glazed tea bowl, action. The setting is his rustic, sun-drenched workshop.
Nice. The lighting. Illuminated by soft golden hour light streaming through a window.
Perfect. Highlighting the fine texture of the clay. Texture detail. Captured with an 85mm portrait lens, specific lens, resulting in a soft, blurred background, bokeh, photographic effect. Bokeh, yeah, makes the subject stand out.
Like that blurry background look.
The overall mood is serene and masterful, vertical portrait orientation, mood and format. See how every single phrase adds a layer of instruction? It guides the AI precisely.
Absolutely. You can almost see that image.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's realism covered. But what if you want something graphic, like a sticker for something or an icon, maybe some kind of digital asset for a website?
Right. Different goal, different approach. And that's the next tip. For these stylized illustrations, the Google AI Studio Guide says, be explicit about the style.
So you got to name it, like vector art or cartoon.
Exactly, or pixel art, kawaii, flat design, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Clearly state the style. That helps the AI lock onto the right aesthetic. And a really practical point they make, if you need it as a clean asset.
Dropping into another design.
Yeah. Explicitly ask for a white background. Sounds obvious, but it saves editing hassle later.
Makes sense. The template for this one is pretty neat and tidy. A style sticker of a subject featuring key characteristics and a color palette. The design should have line style and shading style. The background must be white.
Short, sweet, but covers the essentials. And the example is quite charming. A kawaii-style sticker of a happy red panda wearing a tiny bamboo hat. Okay, cute subject. It's munching on a green bamboo leaf. Action. The design features bold, clean outlines, simple cell shading. Style-specific cell shading gives that flat, cartoony look.
Like blocks of color, not smooth gradients.
Exactly. And a vibrant color palette. The background must be white.
No ambiguity there. You know what kind of sticker you're going to get.
Okay, cool. Now let's circle back to that text and image thing we talked about, since it's been such a notorious problem.
A real pain point, yeah.
This next tip, focusing specifically on getting accurate text, feels pretty significant, like a potential game changer. It really is for certain applications. And the advice from Google AI Studio is, again, about clarity. Be absolutely clear about the exact text you want. Quote it. Describe the font style you're after. Use descriptive words like clean, bold, serif, sans serif, script, etc.
And sans serif just means without the little feet on the letters, right?
Exactly. And describe the overall design aesthetic too, because Gemini understands the meaning behind these terms. It can integrate the text properly. Super useful for logos, diagrams, posters, anywhere text is critical.
The template really forces that clarity. Create an image type for brand concept with the text to render in a font style. The design should be style description with a color scheme.
Structures the request perfectly, and the example shows that precision. Create a modern, minimalist logo for a coffee shop called The Daily Grind. Purpose and brand. The text should be in a clean, bold, sans serif font specifics. The design should feature a simple, stylized icon of a coffee bean seamlessly integrated with the text. Design elements. The color scheme is black and white. Colors, that level of detail. It tells the AI exactly how to make the text look sharp and like it belongs there.
No more weird melty letters, hopefully.
Hopefully, it works much better now.
Okay, moving into more commercial uses. Product shots.
Yeah.
Anyone doing e-commerce or advertising knows how vital, clean, professional product photos are. The guide is a tip specifically for that, right?
Yes, tip number 4. This is all about mimicking high-end studio photography for products. Think high-resolution specific studio lighting setups. The focus is on the details a commercial photographer would worry about.
So you're basically giving the AI a photographer's brief.
Exactly. You're telling it how to set up the virtual studio. The template guides you through it. A high-resolution, studio-lit photograph of a product description on a background surface description.
Okay, setting the scene.
The lighting is a lighting setup, e.g. three-point softbox setup to lighting purpose. Get specific about lights. The camera angle is a angle type to showcase specific feature. Angle matters. Ultra-realistic with sharp focus on key detail, aspect ratio, realism, focus point, format.
And the example really makes it clear how specific you can get.
It does. A high-resolution studio-lit product photograph of a minimalist ceramic coffee mug in matte black. Product detail, presented on a polished concrete surface. Background. The lighting is a three-point softbox setup. Specific lighting rig.
I know that one. Standard studio setup for soft light.
Right. Designed to create soft, diffused highlights and eliminate harsh shadows. Purpose of the lighting. The camera angle is a slightly elevated 45-degree shot to showcase its clean lines. Specific angle and why. Ultra-realistic, with sharp focus on the steam rising from the coffee. Key detail for focus. Square image. Format.
Wow, you can practically smell the coffee. That level of detail really directs the AI.
It absolutely does. It aims for that polished commercial quality.
Okay, sometimes, though, it's not just about the main subject, it's about the space around it. This next tip, tip 5, is about minimalist design and using negative space effectively.
This is super useful, especially for things like website backgrounds, presentation slides, anywhere you need room for text or other elements to be added later.
So it's about intentionally creating empty space.
Exactly. Giving your main content room to breathe, avoiding clutter. The AI understands composition, so you can guide it to create that vast, uncluttered feel.
The template seems designed for that. A minimalist composition featuring a single subject positioned in the bottom right, top left, etc. of the frame.
Pinpointing the subject's location.
The background is a vast, empty color canvas, creating significant negative space, defining that emptiness. Soft, subtle lighting, aspect ratio.
Yep, keep it simple. The example shows this well. A minimalist composition featuring a single, delicate red maple leaf positioned in the bottom right of the frame. Simple subject, specific placement. The background is a vast, empty, off-white canvas, creating significant negative space for text. Purpose stated. Soft, diffused lighting from the top left, square image, subtle lighting, format. It's all about that intentional simplicity, creating elegance and focus.
Very cool. Okay, last tip from the Google AI Studio Guide. This one sounds really interesting for storytellers, visual artists, creating sequential art, like comic panels or storyboards.
Yeah, this is where it gets really powerful for narrative work. Tip 6 helps you develop those storyboards, comic strips, any kind of sequential visual story. The key, again, is clear scene descriptions for each panel to build the narrative.
And Gemini can handle that, keeping track across panels.
Because it processes language deeply, it seems to grasp the evolving context better than older models. It can maintain a degree of consistency, understand the story flow. It's a big step for AI narrative art. You're essentially directing a comic or a storyboard one frame at a time.
Okay, the template for a single panel looks pretty comprehensive. A single comic book panel in an art style defines the look. In the foreground, character description and action. In the background, setting details, scene elements. The panel has a dialogue caption box with the text. The lighting creates a mood, aspect ratio, text, mood, format.
It covers all the crucial comic elements, and the example they give is very evocative. A single comic book panel in a gritty noir art style with high contrast black and white inks sets the style immediately. In the foreground, a detective in a trench coat stands under a flickering street lamp, rain soaking his shoulders. Character in action. In the background, the neon sign of a desolate bar reflects in a puddle. Setting details.
Adding atmosphere.
Totally. A caption box at the top reads, "The city was a tough place to keep secrets." Narrative text. The lighting is harsh, creating a film noir mood. Mood reinforcement. You instantly get that scene, that feeling. It's like giving instructions to an illustrator who really gets the genre.
That's incredibly powerful for visual storytelling. So, wrapping this all up, what's the big picture for someone listening? For you, the learner. These 6 tips, rooted in that idea of describing, not listing, they really change the game, don't they?
They fundamentally change how you interact with tools like Nano Banana. It moves beyond just throwing keywords at it. You're leveraging the AI's understanding of narrative, of context, of visual language itself.
But thinking like a photographer or a designer or a comic artist.
Exactly. You're adopting their mindset in your prompts, and that gives you a level of precise control that was, frankly, much harder to get before. It's like becoming a more eloquent director for your AI collaborator. It's that aha moment, maybe. Realizing the better you articulate your vision, the better the AI can actually build it. These templates, these examples from Google AI Studio on X, they really are a fantastic shortcut. A shortcut to being well-informed and, more importantly, well-equipped.
Definitely well equipped to create some truly stunning visuals.
This deep dive into Google AI Studio's prompting tips for Nano Banana really opens up a lot of possibilities, doesn't it? Makes you think. What kind of images will you try to create with these techniques? How could this kind of refined control boost your own projects, personal or professional? Maybe it just inspires a new way of thinking about visual composition altogether. Anyway, thank you for joining us on the AI Checkpoints. Hit like and subscribe if you like the content. See you next time.